Crowley here. This half term in maths we're going to be continuing to look at addition and subtraction, and then later in the term we're going to be moving on to multiplication and division. So while we're still on addition and subtraction, we're going to be moving on to column addition and column subtraction. So for example, we have our hundreds, tens and ones and a 3-digit number. Okay, we always start in our ones column on the right hand side. So we start with 5 plus 3. So we've got 5, 6, 7, 8. So we pop the 8 underneath here in the ones column. We move on to our tens. It's the next column over to the left. 3 plus 3. So this represents 30 plus 30. But as it falls into the same column, we can just do 3 plus 3. Okay, and then we've got 1 plus 1, which is 2. Again, this column represents the hundred, so that is really 100 plus 100. So that, of course, gives us 200. So we've got 268. So this is an example of column addition with no exchanges. When we move on to multiplication and division, we'll be looking at using arrays to help us. So, for example, if I had some apples, I've got one row of 3, one group of 3. I then had another group of 3. This array can help me to work out 2 times 3. We've got 2 rows here. We've got one group and another group. So that's 2 lots of 3. So 2 times 3. And then we can count them here. Is 6. Okay, another way we can work out this using our array is we could instead group them into groups of 2. So we've got 2 apples in that group, 2 apples in that group, and 2 apples in that group. So then we'd have 1, 2, 3 lots of 2, which also then equals 6 in total. Okay. I hope that's been helpful. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Hello Griffin families. This half term in English we are focusing on firstly non-fiction November, where we'll be looking at non-chronological reports. So the children have got model text to go from. They will be looking at the key features of non-chronological reports. They will be doing their own research on the Amazon River, and they'll be writing their own reports on the Amazon River, focusing on some really interesting facts, writing in paragraphs, including all the features of a non-chronological report, such as headings, subheadings, we've got information, bullet points, and also using topical vocabulary about rivers, as that's our topic. In our reading lessons, we will be focusing on this text, which is a beautiful story called Rhythm of the Rain. And we'll be looking at lots of different activities focusing on our domain dogs, such as vocabulary Victor, looking at the vocabulary that the author has chosen to use. We'll be looking at predicting what's going to happen in the text. We'll be looking at inferring information, which is like reading through the lines. Following our non-chronological reports, we'll be focusing on writing some lovely poetry about rivers. We'll be using some model poems to go by, and the children will be creating their own poetry, which will be wonderful. I'm really looking forward to seeing how their writing progresses this half term, all the progress that they make, and seeing their final outcomes. As usual, please support your children at home by allowing them to go on our spelling platform, which is EdShed. The children are really loving this, especially getting themselves up on the leaderboard, and also reading lots on Myon as well. We also have our accelerated reader quizzes which they can do in school. So they read their reading book from school, take it home, they read it, and as soon as they've read it, they can take a quiz on it. This half term, our topic is flow. It is all about rivers. and it is a geography heavy topic, so we'll be looking a lot about the geography statements from year 3. We'll be focusing on human and physical geography, features of rivers, looking at how a river is formed, looking at rivers around the world and looking at the continents that they are in. We'll be looking at as well the water cycle and developing explanations on how this works. It is a really lovely topic. We've had some amazing research from home already, so if you haven't already done some research in your own time at home, it would be really lovely if you could support us in bringing some kind of work in. We've got some displayed up here. We've got models that have been brought in, which are incredible. We've had fact files brought in. We've had pictures, drawings brought in. It's been really, really lovely to see how you and your children have been supporting our learning at school, so thank you. As well as this, we'll be continuing with all of our other curriculum subjects as well. So hopefully you will see a lot over Seesaw and lots that your children will be coming home and telling you about over the half term.